It's 10:18 a.m., October 3rd, 2025. The USS Russell, an American destroyer slicing through the blue-gray South China Sea, suddenly tightens up inside. Radios hiss. Heads snap to the scopes. A new track blooms unknown, fast cutting straight across what Beijing claims as sovereign waters. No shots fired, no sirens. But the air turns electric. The crew moves like a drill they've lived 100 times. Helmsman holds course. Above, a pate, Ampere's Poseidon draws a slow circle, glassy calm at 30,000 feet, feeding every blip into the Indo-Pacific C4 ISR network. One line matters. The U.S. Navy isn't asking permission to be here. On the bridge, the captain watches the horizon through salt-spotted glass. "We are here, and we're not asking permission," someone says, steady and low. The sea slaps steel. China's radars stare back from over the curve of the water. Two powers measure distance in yards and nerve. Every camera and eye is on Russell's wake, straight and deliberate. A line drawn through contested water. Silence is the message. Presence is the proof. One wrong move and calm becomes crisis. The South China Sea isn't just water. It's one of the world's busiest lifelines. Every tanker and cargo ship carries fuel, chips, and food that keep daily life running. In early October 2025, the USS Russell, DDG-59, cuts through the Spratlys near Mischief Reef, a reef China claims and fortifies. The mission: a freedom of navigation patrol, unarmed but firm, because rights unused can quietly disappear. For Beijing, every American transit is an eraser stroke across their red lines. Over years, sandbars became runways, huts became radars, and maps became declarations. Each time the Russell sails here, it reminds the world those claims don't make law. Chinese radars watch, sensors record, diplomats craft statements. No ships intercept today, but tension hums beneath the calm. Inside Russell, the air is tight. Sailors speak in low tones. Every sound feels sharp. The captain keeps course through international waters the U.S. says belong to all. Above, a pate Ampere's Poseidon feeds live tracks to the Indo-Pacific C4 ISR network, proof that this patrol is transparent, steady, and deliberate. Allies track every move. The Philippines, Vietnam, Japan, they all watch to see if the U.S. still holds the line. Because if this ship turns away, confidence cracks. If it holds, so does the balance. One destroyer carries more than steel, it carries credibility. Across the horizon, a faint radar sweep brushes the hull. Both sides know the other is watching. Neither blinks. Power doesn't shout. It shows up, stays the course, and leaves on schedule. The wake it leaves is a quiet signature written on contested water. If you were on that deck, press 1 if you call it courage. Press 9 if you think it's a step too far. 10:32 a.m. The USS Russell passes the midpoint between two reefs in the Spratlys. Inside the Combat Information Center, the calm breaks as a sharp ping echoes across the radar. Scope: new contact. High altitude, closing fast. Unknown aircraft. Bearing 270. Range 90 miles, the operator reports. Every head turns. Above, the pate Ampere's Poseidon adjusts its orbit. Sensors focused on the same blip. Within seconds, confirmation flashes across the screen, likely a PLA surveillance aircraft on a straight line toward the destroyer. The air grows tight. No orders to engage, just eyes locked on data, hands steady. The captain's voice cuts through the noise. Maintain course and speed. Everyone knows the rule. Record everything. React to nothing unless fired upon. The destroyer keeps slicing through the sea, white spray curling over its bow. The ship-wide 1MC crackles. Set condition 3. Modify MCON Bravo. Antennas pivot. Scopes dim a notch to cut electronic glare. Petty officers timestamp logs. Verify bearings. And pencil a small cross on the chart. In tight water, discipline isn't decor, it's survival. Minutes pass like hours. On radar, the contact slows and holds at 20 miles, matching course. Outside, sunlight catches on distant wings just visible above the haze. The Chinese plane circles wide, cameras rolling. The Poseidon watches from above, its lens fixed on both vessels, relaying images through Indo-Pacific Command's C4 ISR network. Every move is logged, every word transmitted through encrypted channels. This is modern deterrence, silent, exact, and seen by everyone with a satellite feed. The bridge crew stands motionless. Nobody talks about politics or maps. Their job is smaller but heavier, hold the line. After a long orbit, the aircraft banks away, its shape fading into cloud. The radar screens clear, but the tension lingers. Sailors exhale quietly. The sea looks calm again, though everyone knows how thin that calm is. The captain glances at the horizon, then back at the chart table. "Log the contact," he says. "Continue as planned." The ship's engines rumble deeper, pushing forward through disputed blue. Somewhere over the static, the Poseidon's pilot radios one calm line. "All clear for now." The moment passes, but only just. Because out here, for now, never lasts long. 11:06 a.m. The USS Russell holds steady, engines humming low as sunlight burns across the deck. The sea looks calm, but tension builds under the surface. The bridge receives a coded update, multiple radar emissions lighting up from the direction of Mischief Reef. China is watching closer now. In the Combat Information Center, sailors track every pulse. New illuminations, bearing 085, probable surface radar. A voice reports. The captain nods once. "Stay dark, passive only." The destroyer's electronic sensors ease into silent mode, no signal sent, only listening. It's a chess match at sea, one side probing, the other refusing to blink. Above the Pate, Ampere's Poseidon drifts further east, adjusting altitude to keep eyes on the reef. Infrared cameras pick up faint activity, ground-based radars turning toward the ship. For the U.S. Navy, that's the line before escalation. A single misread pulse could trigger global headlines. The Russell changes formation slightly, turning 5 degrees starboard, reducing its radar cross-section. Gunners check bearings. Sailors on deck scan the horizon with binoculars. No enemy ships in sight, but everyone feels the invisible pressure closing in. "We're being painted again," the electronic warfare officer says quietly. "It's not an attack. Not yet, but it's close enough to taste." The captain stands by the window, his hands behind his back. He doesn't raise his voice. "Hold your line," he says. "That's why we're here." Outside, the water glitters as if nothing's happening. Yet every sailor feels the weight of unseen eyes from over the horizon. At 11:10, a faint rumble echoes across the distance, an aircraft engine, low and steady. The radar confirms a pair of Chinese Y-8 patrol planes circling again, lower this time. Poseidon tracks both. The Russell stays unmoved, broadcasting no signal, no fear. Below decks, engineers balance loads and keep the turbines just shy of full, ready to sprint on a single word. Coffee cools on the mess deck. Nobody risks missing a call. For a moment, the entire region feels like it's holding its breath. One American warship, one Chinese outpost, both waiting for the other to flinch first. If you were in that command seat, press 1. If you'd hold your line like the captain, press 9 if you'd pull back before the storm breaks. 11:23 a.m. The radar room falls silent, but only for seconds. A new blip appears, low and fast, hugging the sea's surface. "Possible drone contact," the operator calls. Another pops up, then a third. The icons blink along the radar's edge, moving in formation from Mischief Reef. "They're small, low signature," the electronic warfare officer mutters. "Not planes, not birds. Something new." The USS Russell tightens sensors, switching to short-range tracking. The captain's tone stays even. "Mark and classify. No guessing today." High above, the Pate Ampere's Poseidon banks hard, cameras locking in. The feed confirms it 3 small unmanned craft, flying just above the waves. Too small to threaten, too close to ignore. Likely Chinese surveillance drones, testing reactions under the cover of research. Poseidon transmits footage to Indo-Pacific Command. Analysts flag them as Sea Dragon drones, unarmed but intrusive. Within minutes, global networks will flash images of the encounter. Beijing won't admit control. Washington won't accuse directly. That's the unspoken dance pressure wrapped in deniability. On deck, sailors lean over the rails, eyes fixed on the horizon. A faint buzzing reaches their ears, mechanical and cold. One drone sweeps within 3 miles, its camera lens glinting. The captain orders a minor course correction 10 degrees to port to keep distance without yielding ground. Every turn is deliberate, every move documented. The sea looks calm, but the meaning isn't. The freedom of navigation mission has shifted from statement to test. Each low pass whispers the same line. We see you. We're close enough to touch. For the crew aboard Russell, it's a reminder that the next standoff may not begin with missiles or jets, but with silent machines skating just above the waves. 11:41 a.m. The USS Russell pushes deeper into contested water. The drones vanish from radar, but no one believes they're gone. Every few seconds, faint signals ripple through the noise ghost echoes from the reef. The captain leans over the chart. We hold here for 5 minutes, he says. Then we exit on schedule. 5 minutes can feel like forever. The sea lies glass flat, the air thick with static. Then, another alert, low altitude, close range. Surface contact. Bearing 140, range 5 miles. The crew snaps into motion. On the bridge, binoculars lock on a dark shape cresting the waves. Not a ship, a buoy. No 3 buoys, freshly deployed and transmitting. China's message is clear. We can see you anywhere. Helm, adjust course 3 degrees. The captain orders. The destroyer shifts slightly, avoiding the line of markers but refusing to turn away. The Poseidon circles high above, recording everything. Down below, sailors man the close-in weapon system, hands hovering near triggers but waiting. For a long moment, no one speaks. The sea is too quiet. Even the wind seems to hold its breath. Then static flares in the headset. Chinese radio traffic, half-coded, cutting through, American vessel, maintain distance. No threat, but enough to tighten every jaw on board. The captain's reply is short and calm. This is U.S. Navy warship conducting lawful operations in international waters. His voice is steady, stripped of emotion, built for moments like this. Outside, the ship passes within sight of the markers. Cameras click from both sides. The Poseidon captures every second. The Russell stays on track, her wake slicing a white path through the blue. No missiles, no shots, just presence. But in the South China Sea, presence is power. At 11:48, the reef falls behind, the radar clears, and the silence finally breaks. The crew exhales. The operation is complete. One warship, one statement. Freedom of navigation doesn't shout. It simply moves forward. If you are watching this standoff unfold, press 1 if you think the Russell proves strength through calm. Press 9 if you believe such missions risk pushing peace too far. By noon, the USS Russell clears the contested zone. The South China Sea lies calm again, but the tension it carried doesn't fade, it just sinks beneath the surface. The ship resumes radio contact. The crew loosens helmets and breathes normally for the first time in hours. Above, the Pate Empress Poseidon banks westward, its mission complete. Cameras still rolling for the official record. In Washington, Indo-Pacific Command receives the final transmission. FONOP complete, no interference, maintaining freedom of navigation. A routine report on paper, but a ripple across geopolitics. In Manila and Tokyo, liaison desks log confirmations. In Hanoi, planners cross-check the track against their own patrol schedules, noting timing and distance. For the US, the meaning is clear. Presence equals deterrence. You can't claim the ocean if someone else keeps sailing through it. But for China, each passage is a challenge, an unspoken dare that questions the reach of its power. The next response might not be silence. Maybe drones will shadow closer. Maybe a ship will cross the line first. On board Russell, sailors stand on deck, watching the horizon flatten back into peace. The sea looks endless again, but they know it's never truly empty. Every mile here is measured not just in distance, but in message. Today's message: the sea stays open. The captain writes the final log. Mission executed as planned. 0 casualties, 0 deviation. Simple words, but heavy with intent. He closes the notebook, stares at the horizon for one last second, then turns away. Back home, the footage will air on news feeds, sparking debate. Was this calm resolve or provocation under another name? The world will decide, one comment, one opinion at a time. If you were watching this moment unfold, press 1 if you think these patrols keep the peace. Press 9 if you think they're a fuse waiting to burn. Either way, stay tuned. The next move in this silent game is already being planned at sea.